How's it going, guys? Dragon Star Production here, back with another video. And in this edition of Dragon Ball What Ifs, we will be discussing what if Janemba replaced the Buu Saga Part 1. But before we jump into this, I'm going to remind you guys to go over there and join the Discord. We do game night, debate nights, and a whole lot of other fun stuff over there. And I also recently created a Twitter, so make sure you go over there and follow us on Twitter as well. Both of them are links in the description. Anyway, I think I've talked long enough. Let's jump straight into the video. I would say most of the build-up for this what if would have remained the same. Babidi's goal would remain that he wanted to get energy to release the extremely powerful being from the egg, and in doing so he got help from people like Deborah, Spokovich, and them people, so all this takes the same. Until we really get to the Majin Vegeta versus Goku fight. And the reason why it changes here is because this is the last bit of energy to finally break the ball. So, at everyone's surprise, it was just a big yellow gummy bear looking guy yelling, "Janemba! Janemba! Janemba!" This would put the Supreme Kai in complete and utter shock. He thinks back to a very, very horrible time in his memories. The Supreme Kai is actually able to warn everyone that Janemba doesn't act the way that he looks, and that he is a very deadly creature who understands his actions. Supreme Kai even goes more into detail by saying, "Over 1,000 years ago, Janemba raised havoc without any real effort. His power was unmatched by manipulating dimensions and realities. He ended up taking almost over the entire universe and making it his own paradise, including hell and the other world. The other Kais and I had to fight very, very hard to defeat Janemba. Sadly, we lost some along the way, until I was actually able to seal Janemba away. But it appears that I have failed of keeping Janemba out of the wrong hands, and I promise he won't hesitate to repeat history again." This is actually when Goku would try to convince Vegeta to postpone the fight and that they had bigger things to fry, like Janemba. Goku even used the idea of that Janemba would kill his entire family, and not even to leave the other world intact for them to go to. But eventually, Vegeta ends up giving in and stops acting like he doesn't care. However, this, like canon, is a trick, and Majin Vegeta blasts Goku right in the back. In the meantime, however, Gohan and Supreme Kai decided that they had to fight Janemba. Janemba wasn't even moving, and he was knocking the two around like nothing. Janemba was punching through the portals, knocking them back, and shooting ki blasts through the holes in his stomach. Finally, though, Gohan lands a Kamehameha to his back, but this does nothing but cause Janemba to stand up and get very, very angry. So he once again shoots out ki blasts from his stomach, this time though, very rapidly, and screaming, "Janemba! Janemba! Janemba!" Through all the rapid ki blasts that Janemba was shooting out, Gohan and Supreme Kai's auras suddenly faded away. Nobody could feel their energy. This left Deborah the only one with Janemba. Deborah actually went in for the kill, but ended up dying by Janemba's hand. And this would actually release from Stone, Piccolo, and Krillin. However, one of Janemba's own blasts would then ricochet back and hit himself right between the eyes. This was Majin Vegeta arriving on the scene and blocking the blast from hitting him. Majin Vegeta dives straight for the attack, however, his punches are barely affecting Janemba. This made Vegeta get quite mad as he started getting heavier with his punches and kicks. After realizing though that they wouldn't work, Vegeta attempts using Ki Blast, but this only leads to Vegeta eating a barrage of Janemba's Ki himself. So Majin Vegeta is pushed very, very far. You could call it his breaking point. So then Trunks would come in as he did in the Buu Saga and save his father thanks to Goten causing a distraction. This distraction though caused Goten to get pretty beat up through the process of getting punched through a portal. Meanwhile, Piccolo would be on his way to kill Babidi, and do it very successfully. While Vegeta comes to the conclusion that he only has one thing that he can do. Vegeta uses his last resort, hugs his son, Trunks, and says that he's proud of him while knocking him out. Piccolo takes Trunks and Goten as Krillin follows, as Vegeta requested. Majin Vegeta, though, right now is charging up his final explosion. Vegeta charges all his energy inside one humongous ball of energy and then blows himself up as well as Janemba. However, this doesn't lead to one thing. It leads to something very, very big. Two huge beams of light shoot from the sky. One was Bulma summoning Shenron to revive everyone that Deborah and Vegeta had previously killed. Goku, finally getting up from being knocked out from Majin Vegeta, goes straight to Piccolo's energy on the lookout and finds out what it did, and then teleports to Bulma to tell her to stop making the wish. Being revived and all this, we end up realizing that Gohan wasn't dead, and that he's training with the Z-Sword. But Goku, in this time, wastes no time and teleports back to Krillin and Piccolo and quickly teaches them how to use the fusion technique so that they can show Goten and Trunks, while Goku went to the second beam of light. When Goku teleports there, he is shook by the amount of energy flowing off Super Janemba. Meanwhile, back on the lookout, Krillin and Piccolo are teaching the boys how to fuse. Goten and Trunks would mess up on the fusion twice, causing them to have to wait an entire hour before actually being able to get into the fight. So, in the meantime, Goku would use his last moments on Earth to fight this evolved version of Janemba. Goku stands and stares at Janemba, until powering up to what we all believed at this time was his most powerful form of Super Saiyan 2. Goku wastes no time and darts in at Janemba. However, this Janemba makes a mockery of this Super Saiyan 2 Goku. Also during this time, the living world started to change. Other dimensions started to develop, similar of the jelly bean things that were floating in the sky in the Fusion Reborn movie. Goku then decides that he has no choice. Goku unleashes an incredible scream that has the entire earth shaking. And now we would have Goku, Super Saiyan 3 versus a Super Janemba, and the battle had just begun. The two seemed quite even at first. Their punches were bouncing off of each other, and their kicks were lining up pretty evenly, until Janemba actually started getting the upper hand by creating a long sword from basically nothing. The sword was used to slice Goku right across the chest, shredding his gi. And the longer the fight wore on, the stronger the Janemba's got, as he was absorbing all the evil energy that surrounded him, similar to what he did in Shin Budokai the game. Super Saiyan 3 Goku powered up to his absolute max and tried to shoot off a Kamehameha. But before he could release the attack, he was poofed back to the afterlife. However, just in the meantime, Goten would arrive on the scene, as well as Piccolo and Krillin, who just came along beside him. Janemba, though, wouldn't care who stood in front of him. Janemba dashed in with a sword, but to everyone's surprise, Goten is able to block the first swing, and then the second, and then every swing after that. Goten realizes that he couldn't do this in his base form, so he charges up to Super Saiyan. Janemba, though, proves that he is the biggest threat that the gang has ever fought, as Goku said in the Fusion Reborn movie. Goten then pushes himself to Super Saiyan 2 because they never learned the Super Saiyan 3 form from Goku because he told Krillin and Piccolo about the fusion dance instead of teaching them himself. The fusion, though, would actually begin to balancing out with Janemba after going into the Super Saiyan 2. After noticing this, Piccolo and Krillin would try to aid from the background. Piccolo would then start charging the special beam cannon, while Krillin would start shooting rapid destructo disc, as we very rarely have seen him do. Janemba, though, is able to dodge the Destructo Disc as if they are nothing, while handling a Super Saiyan 2 Goten at the same time. Finally, though, Piccolo would shoot off the Special Beam Cannon, however Janemba would simply use a Mouth Beam to blow Goten's back just to get him off of him for a little while, and then uses his sword to quickly swipe it and block the beam that Piccolo just shot at him. Goten, though, reacts very quickly to Janemba being off guard and shoots out some of the ghosts from his Kamikami Ghost attack. Janemba, though, dissolves and comes out of another dimension and hits Gotenks. However, the ghosts were able to follow Janemba in and then blow him up right after he hit Gotenks. This was the first real sign that damage that Janemba has really had in this fight. However, it only enraged him more to be hurt. So then, Janemba started pulling more tricks out of his bag and then mirrors the same ghost attack back at Gotenks, similar to what he did to Goku's Kamehameha in Fusion Reborn. Janemba is clearly outmatching the Fusion, especially as he's absorbing more energy, but as of right now, it's just due to his techniques. In the meantime, back on the world of the Kais, Gohan finally has finished having his potential unlocked and was about to head back to Earth. But before he did, Janemba already caused the dimensions to spread throughout, reaching them in the world of the Kais. This would lead to Gohan leaving and going to fight Super Janemba. However, because the other world and now Hell was both being affected, Vegeta and Goku would also both be able to come back to Earth and fight as well. Gohan, though, arrives on Earth to fight and actually saves Gotenks from dying from a lightning shower of rain attack. Janemba comes in with the sword at Gohan, but Gohan manages to shatter the sword just by punching it. Then, Gohan grabs Janemba and throws him, but this small feat is very short-lived, as Janemba makes clones of himself, as he did in his first form. These clones, though, were basically identical in every single way, including power. Gohan was getting very overwhelmed until Goku and Vegeta arrived on the scene and helped. Goku and Vegeta got clones off of Gohan, while Gohan went back in for the attack on the real Janemba. Goku and Vegeta eliminated the clones and went on to the fight 3-on-1. Finally, when the 3-on-1 attack, Janemba was finally getting overwhelmed. This was the final moment when Janemba enraged and unleashed most of his power that he had absorbed. And it was just pouring from outside of him. He couldn't help but just scream. With this current rage boost, Janemba's strength was now unmatched. The 3 couldn't even hit him. Janemba was knocking the 3 all over the place. The next thing we knew, Janemba was rushing in at all 3. He manages to knee Goku in the gut, kicks Vegeta across the chin, and then drives his fist straight into Gohan's spine, cracking it as he falls to the ground, going limp. Then, it is followed by a green mouth blast to make Gohan barely even able to move. So, Goku would then get the idea of trying to teach the fusion dance to Vegeta, and doing it very, very quickly, as Piccolo and Krillin tried to distract Janemba the best that they could just by blasting at him. And for story purposes, we'll say that they match up perfectly the first time. So, this would lead to Gogeta being born, instead of Vegito as was in the Buu Saga. Gogeta, though, goes straight into Super Saiyan and starts fighting Super Janemba. And finally, Janemba had a fight on his hands. Even with absorbing all the energy, Gogeta had the upper hand. Gogeta was mopping the floor with Janemba, just punching him, knocking him around. Janemba stood no chance. Gogeta was basically making a fool of Janemba, as Janemba has done everybody else in the story. Finally, though, Gogeta would build up a final Kamehameha at Janemba, causing him to go crashing back. Soon, Janemba's energy started to fade. Everyone believed that the job was done. Gogeta powered down, and then the fusion would unfuse, leaving a very tired Goku and Vegeta. But the fight wasn't over. Janemba's body started to shake, his aura started to glow a deep purple, and his energy was boiling. Goku and Vegeta was in utter belief. However, like with Buu, the 2 didn't give up, and now actually has Goten and Trunks who can fuse back into Gotenks and help them. Goku and Vegeta are doing everything they can until Goku realizes that the only thing that he can do is the spirit bomb of all the good energy around the universe. So Vegeta and Gotenks distract Janemba, which we'll say actually works long enough for Goku to charge up the spirit bomb, and as normal, Hercule was there as well, Bet you didn't see that coming. And he's actually able to convince everybody to give him his energy, as well as Goku using a good bit of the other planets around the universe. This actually becoming the most strongest spirit bomb we have ever seen. Way bigger than the one that actually killed Kid Buu. Goku unleashes the spirit bomb as his evil energy is swallowed, and Janemba is just screaming. He is being overcome as the spirit bomb eats him alive. The pure goodness overcame Janemba. His energy was officially gone. This time, with no return. The universe and the Earth was safe until somebody happened to wake up after some ruckus that Janemba's energy caused inside his home. Also though, because the afterlife would be restored, Goku and Vegeta would now both have to return to being dead. So how would part 2 play out with Beerus waking up much early? Alright guys, I really hope you enjoyed it. This has been a really fun what if to do, and I had a very talented voice actor for Janemba. If you couldn't tell, that wasn't my voice. His name's Cogni, he's in my Discord. He does have a YouTube channel. I will leave that link below. Yeah, I think he did a very great job. And guys, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, turn on that bell notification, like this video, comment down below, let me know what's your favorite part, let me know what you want to see in part 2. I'm always glad to hear suggestions. And moving on from that, I want to also remind you guys one more time to join the Discord. Remember, like I said in the beginning, a whole lot of fun stuff going on over there. And follow us on Twitter. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Dragon Star Productions